Imagine this. A mother walks into her home expecting nothing out of the ordinary, only to find a scene so disturbing it shatters her world. A teacher's aide, someone trusted to care for her child, is accused of an unthinkable crime. A 15-year-old boy with disabilities, whose mind is that of a 9-year-old, is at the centre of this nightmare. How did it happen? How did a person meant to detect become the one to harm? This is a story of trust broken, innocence stolen, and a mother's fight for justice. In a small town in Ohio, a community was rocked by allegations that would leave everyone questioning who they could trust. Kristen Coble, a 45-year-old paraprofessional at Woodmore Local School District, was arrested and charged with rape. The victim, a 15-year-old boy she had worked with, a child who relied on her for support and guidance. But what began as a professional relationship took a dark turn, one that would change lives forever. This case is not just about a crime, it's about the betrayal of trust on every level. It's about a child who couldn't fully understand what was happening to him, a mother who never imagined such evil could enter her home, and a community left wondering how something like this could happen in their midst. As we unravel this story, we'll explore the events that led to that fateful day, the mother's heartbreaking discovery, and the legal battle that followed. But more than that, we'll examine the broader questions this case raises about vulnerability, trust, and the systems meant to protect our children. The boy at the centre of this case is 15 years old, but his mental capacity is that of a 9-year-old. He is one of society's most vulnerable, a child who depends on others for care and protection. For him, the world is a confusing place, and he relies on the adults around him to guide him, to keep him safe, and to help him navigate life's challenges. Kristen Coble was one of those adults. As a paraprofessional at Woodmore Local School District, her job was to assist students like him, to help them with their education and daily tasks. She was someone the boy's family trusted, someone they believed had his best interests at heart. But on January 6th, that trust was shattered in the most devastating way. What began as a professional relationship turned into something far darker, something no one could have predicted. The boy's mother had always been vigilant, always careful about who she allowed into her son's life. But even the most cautious parents can't foresee every danger. And in this case, the danger came from someone who was supposed to be a protector, not a predator. It was a cold winter afternoon when the boy's mother returned home. Schools had been closed that day due to bad weather, and the roads were icy. She wasn't expecting anyone to be in the house, least of all Kristen Coble. But as she walked through the door, she was met with a scene that no parent should ever have to witness. According to authorities, she found Coble allegedly committing an unspeakable act against her son. In that moment, her world collapsed. The mother's immediate reaction was one of shock, anger, and heartbreak. She called the police, her voice trembling as she explained what she had seen. Officers arrived quickly, and Coble was arrested at the scene. For the mother, the days that followed were a blur of emotions. She struggled to process what had happened, to reconcile the image of the trusted teacher's aide with the person who had allegedly harmed her child. In an interview with local media, the mother described the moment she walked in on Coble. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, she said. This was someone I trusted, someone who was supposed to help my son, and now I don't know how I'll ever trust anyone again. Kristen Coble was taken into custody and charged with rape. Her bail was set at $100,000, and a judge ordered her to have no contact with the victim. The Woodmore Local School District, where Coble worked, placed her on unpaid administrative leave. In a statement, Superintendent Mary Schaefer said the district's primary concern was the safety and well-being of its students. While we cannot comment on the specifics of this case due to the ongoing investigation, we are deeply troubled by these allegations, she said. Our hearts go out to the victim and his family during this difficult time. But for the boy's family, the damage was already done. They were left grappling with the aftermath of the alleged crime, trying to make sense of how something like this could happen. The case also raised questions about the systems in place to protect vulnerable students. How could someone in a position of trust be accused of such a horrific act? Were there any warning signs that were missed? And what can be done to prevent something like this from happening again? The boy's family is devastated. Their attorney, Kylie Wright, released a statement saying, "Unfortunately, we live in a world where evil exists and that evil comes in many forms. The family has asked for privacy as they try to process what has happened. For the boy, the trauma of the alleged assault is compounded by his disabilities. He may not fully understand what happened to him, but the emotional scars will likely last a lifetime." The family is now focused on healing, on helping their son recover from this unimaginable ordeal. But they are also determined to seek justice. They want answers, accountability, and assurances that no other child will have to endure what their son has gone through. Meanwhile, the community is left reeling, struggling to understand how someone trusted to care for children could be accused of such a horrific crime. Parents are questioning the safety of their own children, and the school district is facing scrutiny over its hiring and supervision practices. The investigation is still ongoing. Authorities say additional charges, including burglary for entering the home, may be filed, but many questions remain. How did this happen? Were there any warning signs that were overlooked? Did Coble have a history of inappropriate behaviour, or was this an isolated incident? And how can we ensure that something like this never happens again? These are questions that the community, the school district, and the legal system will need to grapple with in the coming months. For now, the focus is on supporting the victim and his family as they navigate this difficult time. This is a story that reminds us of the importance of vigilance, of protecting those who cannot protect themselves. It's a reminder that trust, once broken, can have devastating consequences. If you found this story important, please share it. And if you have any information that could help in this case, contact the Sandusky County Sheriff's Office. Together, we can work to ensure that no child has to endure what this boy and his family have gone through. Thank you for listening. Stay safe, stay aware, and remember, the most vulnerable among us deserve our protection, our care, and our unwavering commitment to justice.